What is up, you guys? Today we will be live in an inspection with my Michael Jordan of inspectors, Mr. Travis Kep. He knows everything there is about homes. He used to be a builder himself, and now he is a kick-ass inspector, and I literally think he's the Michael Jordan of inspectors. This guy doesn't miss a beat. He don't miss nothing. He's very on point, very professional, knows his craft, is very, very monotonous, detail-oriented. This is the guy that you want to inspect your home. And again, he's part of my team. So when you use me as your realtor, these are the types of resources that y'all get. So pay close attention, and let's get to it. So here we are. I'm here with Travis. This is our inspector.
How you doing?
So I'm gonna flip the camera, let him do his thing, guys.
All right, so my name is Travis, Southern Star Inspections. First and foremost, it's a beautiful home. Also, I wanted to let you know that you can contact me anytime if you have any questions after you receive the report, after you do a walkthrough with the builder, or even after you move in. My cell phone goes directly to me, so you can call me anytime if you have any questions about anything. You can email me, anything like that. First off, when we stand here at the house, just want to let you know when I talk about right or left elevation, it's always looking at the house. So right now, currently, we're standing in front of the house. This would be the left elevation, and then this would be the right elevation. For instance, right now, your water meter is on the front right elevation of the home. If I ever talk about rear elevation or rear right elevation, such as your AC unit is located on your rear right elevation of the home, it's behind the fence. So in the report, it'll have some locations of left or right or rear right in the report, okay? The report itself will be broken down in blue writing and red writing. Blue writing is mostly informational type of items, such as letting you know where the water meter is, letting you know where your main water shutoff valve is, letting you know the model and serial numbers to everything in the report. So AC unit, furnace, water heater, appliances in the kitchen, washer, dryer. I'll have all the model and serial numbers at your fingertips, so you can have that in the future if you ever need a warranty or a service call or anything like that. You'll have that in the report for you. One of the other main important items for having the model and serial number is to register that equipment into your name. So essentially, once you take ownership of the home, you would want to go to goodman.com for your AC and furnace, renai.com for your water heater, and Frigidaire for your appliances. Go to those websites and register the equipment in your name. So that way, the equipment is in your name, not the builder's, and plus, a lot of times they will extend your manufacturer warranty. So it might go from 3 years manufacturer warranty to 6 just by registering it into your name, okay?
Perfect.
So back to blue writing and red writing. Red writing are the deficiencies. It could be something small, such as, I'm just gonna call out the fact that the expansion joint for this flat work is cracked. Obviously, if somebody's out here barefoot, they might get a good splinter with something like that. So I'll have that in the report. It's generally an easy thing to fix. It's just a piece of wood that they can replace in the driveway, and that way it doesn't continue to deteriorate or crack, okay?
Sounds good. Let's take it inside. I'm excited.
As we walk in and enter the front door here, a couple things. We always want to seal up our exterior penetrations. Seal up our door thresholds. I wish I could rewind and
You're good.
Rewind, cut, and reset that. But basically, we want to seal up our door thresholds and where the jambs meet the threshold. In the report, you'll have pictures of all this with arrows and circles, kind of showing you exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not something that you get to memorize from this video or what I'm talking about. It'll all be in the report with pictures.
Sounds like a plan.
As we walk into the home, just to kind of give you a synopsis of what I've been doing, my job is I'd say that it's very monotonous, same thing over and over again, different house, different room, but same process. So as I come into the room, I'm going to make sure the doors are latching, make sure that they're locking, testing the light fixtures, make sure all the lights are coming on, all the light bulbs are working properly, and the switches are wired properly. Making sure all the receptacles are working, all the plugs, making sure that they're tight and secured in the junction box, and then also making sure that they're functioning properly. One thing that I'll explain to you here, it might be a little confusing in the report, but as I'm testing light fixtures, just to kind of show you what I've been doing, start here, I determine, okay, this light switch is for our morning area lights.
Got it.
As I do this one, I've got my living room light, so I've got that accounted for.
Very nice.
Yep, as I move to my next switch, I've got my front entryway hallway lights. Now the second part of that is making sure that the three-way switch is working properly. So you can stare at the arrow help, but basically if I can turn the front entry lights on with that switch, I can also turn them off here.
Very nice.
And then I can turn them back on here as I enter or exit, whichever way. So I'm making sure that those are wired properly. The reason why I do that is because I know with my experience, sometimes they have wires that are improperly secured in place, and you have to have the switch in a proper position for the other switch to work. You've probably been in a house like that where one switch on the other side of the room only works when this switch is in the up position, for example. Okay, so I'm making sure all that's done properly. So I got to this location, and I've got a switch here that right now is not doing anything. Okay, and that's okay because a lot of times they might have that center light blocking wire for a future ceiling fan.
Got it.
So obviously right now without a ceiling fan, this switch is not working. Okay, and if that's the purpose of it, that is the purpose, and that's okay. But when I made my way over here, I found that I've got my hallway switch.
Very nice.
I've got nothing on the middle switch.
Okay.
I've got kitchen light switch. Okay, so again, I've got another switch here that's not accounted for. Typically, a living room, and I'm just going off experience here, just doing this over 13 years now, being a builder, usually this type of living room here would have that same feature of a, bless you,
Thank you,
three-way switch option. I feel as though it'd be best for you guys to ask the builder to confirm and look at the electrical blueprints on what the purpose of the extra switch is for.
Okay.
If they say that both switches are for the ceiling fan, we have to kind of take them at their word for that point. Because it's not, we can't tell until we actually get into that actual middle light fixture and see what these switch and hook something up to that switch, the wires that are just dead right now, to figure out if that's correct.
Got it.
I have a gut feeling that one of these switches was meant to be the three-way switch for this, and one of the switch over here was for the ceiling fan.
Was for the ceiling fan.
Typically, you're not going to have a three-way switch for a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
The purpose is to enter the room, turn the light on, exit, turn the light off.
Got it.
Not a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And the other reason why I feel like my gut is right on that is because as I go upstairs, we have the same situation kind of going in the game room.
Okay.
Whereas actually there's not even a center light for a fan.
Yeah.
So at that point now I'm really questioning on whether or not we have our three-way circuits wired properly.
Got it.
So I have those two items written up in the report, and it's finally going to say, hey, last sentence, recommend evaluation / consulting with the builder regarding this, check the blueprint plans, things of that nature. Blueprint plans, when you look at them, if you're looking at that plan, you'll see basically the 5 light switches in this case.
Okay.
And you'll see little dashes that go over to a switch, and that switch has a little money sign.
Okay.
Okay, and that's kind of where you can determine what was the purpose and where it was meant to be turned on and off.
Got it.
Okay. And if you have any questions, you can call me if you need further clarification, even after talking with the builder.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
And this is an odd picture. I'll have a picture kind of pointing at the 2 switches, but it's kind of one of those things where you got to stand in the room. It's one's far off, one's near, all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay. When we get to the kitchen, a lot of, again, monotonous types of checks and balances, checking the light fixture, checking all the receptacles. When I get to a sink, whether it be a kitchen sink, a vanity in a bathroom, 2 vanities in the primary bathroom, I'm always going to do the same process of starting with my hot water first and making sure hot water is on the correct side of the fixture, and then I go to cold water, make sure cold water is on the correct side of the fixture. Once I determine hot water is on the correct side, and I'm checking down here for any leaks, any type of drips or drops or leaks underneath the cabinets, I'm then going to go to cold water and let that cold water run from anywhere from about 3 to 5 minutes. What I'm trying to do is a couple things. Make sure the water and the plumbing supply lines are connected properly. 2, making sure there's no leaks at the valves or at the drains. 3, I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing that's going to be starting to slowly back up in the system, like a slow drain or any type of blockage in the drain lines.
Okay.
After I do the process with the sink, I'm going to start running appliances. Dishwasher went through a complete cycle, no leaks, everything's functioning properly there. Oven was tested on regular bake mode, 350 degrees. Cooktop was functioning properly. I'll have a picture behind your trash can bin is where the gas shutoff valve is for the oven / range. So in case you've got to shut gas off to this unit, you can reach inside this cabinet and shut the gas off to the unit itself.
Cool.
It does have an anti-tip device. However, I don't believe that it's lined up properly because you've got a nice sized gap behind these. I can't get it pushed back all the way flush against that wall.
Yeah, I got you.
And that's a big gap there. You're going to be losing utensils and things like that. It should slide all the way back. There's a little anti-tip device back there that essentially that leg of the oven / range should slide into, so therefore it doesn't tip over, but it should be installed all the way against the wall at the same time.
Cool.
Okay. Range hood is functioning. It does vent to the exterior of the home. Microwave heats up water, no radiation leaks. The refrigerator, washer, and dryer is not necessarily part of the inspection. I'm not washing and drying clothes or anything, but I'm going to have the model and serial number in the report for you.
Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Huge plus point. There are not that many inspectors that do this. Just a little brag for my boy Travis here.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of inspectors, unfortunately, I've seen some other reports, they'll just take a snap photo, a snap picture of the appliance model and serial number sometimes. It's not mandatory to do, and that just makes it difficult for you to copy and paste out of the report, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I've always just taken the time to actually enter it into the report for that reason.
Perfect.
Again, we talked about washer and dryer not necessarily being part of the inspection, but I did turn the dryer on because I wanted to locate where your dryer vent termination is. It's on the outside wall over here. I'll have a picture showing you which vent that is, so you can monitor that for any type of lint buildup in the future. Washer machine drain. So going through the house, I talked to you about how I test the kitchen sink, the dishwasher, garbage disposal, vanities. I flush the commodes. I'm running the showers, the tubs, making sure that everything's draining properly. The one drain that an inspector is unable to test, or it's not within their scope of inspection, is the wash machine drain line. So I do make a note to make sure that when you first move in and you wash your first load of laundry, make sure you're at home and monitor that first drain cycle to make sure it's draining properly. I always say it's a good rule of practice to be home anytime. 5 years from now, be home when you run your wash machine or your dishwasher. You're just asking for problems. If there is a mistake or something happens, at least you're home to be able to stop it and minimize any damage.
Perfect.
The second part of this picture that you'll see in this report is where your primary AC drain line runs to. I'll have a picture of that in the report. So essentially, when the AC is running, it gives off condensation. We have to provide a place for that condensation to drain. In this home, it drains to the washing machine drain line. I'll have a picture pointing that out.
Perfect.
Forgive me, but I passed by the garbage disposal.
Okay.
Garbage disposal currently right now it's functioning, but you do have this feature where you should just be able to push this button to turn the garbage disposal on.
Yeah.
Okay? Right now, the air tube that hooks up to the bottom of that button is disconnected.
Okay.
Okay, so it's disconnected. I have that in the report that they need to connect that so they can just operate the garbage disposal this way.
Okay.
However, I was able just to plug it directly into the plug itself to make sure it's actually functioning. And
Okay.
it is. It just is not functioning with this button right now.
Got it.
Okay. All right.
That was a question we had, so that's awesome.
Yep. There's a little air tube, a little clear air tube, and all it does is like a jacuzzi tub. When you hit that button, it suctions and it turns that motor on, and when you hit it again, it turns it back off.
Okay.
Various locations. Somebody had walked through here with some muddy shoes or whatnot. I've got some stains / dirty carpet located at various locations of the home. Primary bedroom, secondary bedroom, staircase has some little mud spots on them.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll make
So
sure.
primary. Again, we talked about the process. Again, still open and closing doors as I enter rooms, open and closing windows, make sure that they're all functioning properly. When I get to this particular bathroom, there's a lot of water that I can run at the same time. Hot water at the left side, hot water at the left side here, shower, flush the commode. I pull the stoppers up, make sure they fill with water, release the stoppers, make sure that they actually drain, and then I'm up underneath the cabinets looking for any type of leaks or any type of drips or drops. Shake the commode, make sure it's tight to the floor, flush it again, checking around the commode for leaks or under valves, and then making sure I've got the hot water and everything's draining properly in the primary bathroom.
Cool.
When you look at these receptacles here, the receptacle in the secondary bathroom, the receptacle upstairs hallway bathroom, and the powder bathroom, those are all GFCI protected. They're all in the same circuit. So right now you'll see at these receptacles you don't have any push buttons. If this plug or that plug is not working, or the plug in the secondary is not working, or the plug in the hallway is not working, if I remember correctly, we'll walk by it, Rohel, your reset for that circuit is inside the powder bathroom.
Got it. So right down here.
There'll be a little push button that you push to get power back to these locations.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
As we pass by this window, it might be hard to see with the camera, but on the outside I'll have a picture kind of circled right here. Well, you might be able to see with your eyes.
Yeah.
There's a little blemish right there.
Yeah.
And to me right now, that's a start of what we call seal failure.
Okay.
Seal failure comes in all shapes and sizes. We've seen it all, whether you go to somebody's house and the whole window's foggy,
okay,
or you see purple streaks, or you see purple dots, or you see a blemish like that. I just think a window guy needs to come out here and check that, and if it is seal failure, they can do what's called a reglaze.
Okay.
Basically, they can take this pane of glass out and put new glass in.
Got it.
Okay, I'll have a picture from the outside showing kind of where that location is. As I'm going through the house, I'm looking for any cracks or stains. I did a thermal imaging scan as well. A thermal imaging scan helps me find any possible moisture intrusion or missing insulation. It's not x-ray vision, it's temperature difference. So I basically set the temperature in the house. If we've got hot day on the outside and a cold wall on the inside, it'll show me if we're missing insulation or if there's any type of moisture intrusion.
Perfect.
As we stand here, you have your HVAC system. Again, this is something that's going to be in the report, mostly just explained. There's not necessarily pictures that I can kind of contribute to this.
Okay.
But essentially, you've got one HVAC system, two thermostats. One thermostat that controls the temperature to the lower level of the home, one thermostat that for the upper level and controls the temperature of the upper level of the home. You would have both those thermostats in cool mode, but you could maybe set the lower level at 72 and the upper level at 74, and those would turn on as they need to. For me, when I do this test, you kind of had a bonus of a day. When I got here, it was still cold enough on the outside to run the furnace, and it got hot enough to where I could still run the AC. What I do when I get here and I start on the outside of the house first, the first thing I'll do is I'll come in and I'll turn both thermostats off. So that way when I'm doing the outside of the home, I know that everything is off, and I come in, I'm kind of starting on a base level. I'm saying, okay, I walk in this house, I'm going to start with my lower level thermostat. I start heating it up in the furnace mode, and then what I'm going to do is after that's heating up, I'm going to take time to go upstairs, and I'm going to see if there's any conditioned air or heat coming out of those registers or those vents on the upstairs. It should not, because the upper thermostat is off, the lower thermostat is the only one running. But what I caught was that there was still some conditioned air coming through the upper supply vents when only the lower level thermostat was on. It's a common thing that I find, unfortunately. Essentially what there is there's a damper zoning system. There's a control board inside the attic space that when you call for conditioned air on the lower level, it will trigger certain arms to open or close on those ducts to provide air to those certain locations that you're calling for the air to be at. Sometimes they get miswired, sometimes they're misconnected, not knowing where the ducts are actually traveling to, okay? So it's a quick, easy fix for them, but it's something that I find a lot on these new houses that has this dual damper system.
Got it.
And then I do the opposite to confirm myself, just to make sure, double check. After I confirm what I think is true, I'll then shut the furnace off. I'll then go turn the upper furnace on. I'll only had air at the upper level at that point. Okay, now my furnace is all good. I'm going to go to cold. I'm going to do cold only on the upstairs. Go upstairs, thermal imaging camera shows that I've got cold air.
Yeah.
I kind of confirmed. It's like checking my math.
Yeah.
Just confirmed it on the cold side as well. I should never have had any cold air coming out of those upper thermostats after I already had heat going through it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It would still be red, and it would still be a red color versus a blue color, telling me it's hot versus the cold, but it was cold. So I found it before. It's kind of confusing. Forgive me if I ramble too much on it, but you can call me if you have questions on that one as well.
Cool. You're rolling through this, man.
Let's see. Yep, confirmed. Confirmed that we do have the GFCI reset. So it's the little button that you'll push. If you don't have any power at the other bathrooms, you come over here and you hit that reset button, and now you'll have power at the other receptacles.
Got it.
Again, checking hots and colds, flushing commodes, checking fans. So you have exhaust fans in a powder bathroom. utility room, primary bath commode, secondary bathroom, hallway bath. All those exhaust fans are functioning and they are terminated to the exterior as they should be.
Great.
Again, a couple more small stains as we travel up. These spindle bases should all be tightened down to where they're secured in place. It's a little Allen head screwdriver. A lot of times people honestly get lazy. That's a lot of little screw driving.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel, basically.
Yeah.
The risk of whoever's got to do that for a while. But that's their job, they've got to do. Again, more of the same, going through checking receptacles, light fixtures to give you a situation. This is that game room. Rohel, if you want to stand by the staircase.
Yes.
You got 2 switches there. Rohel, you can hit one light switch and show them that it's going to do the, these will be the closest one to the stairs. That's going to control those lights. You can turn it back off. That's second. That switch closest to you, Rohel, is not doing anything right now.
No, it's not.
Okay, nothing right now. And we don't have a ceiling fan light option currently.
Nope.
Here, I've got nothing on this switch. I've got my game room.
Yeah.
Again, this kind of, again, checking my math or giving me that gut feeling that something's odd here with the electrician getting his 3-way circuit light going. I feel as though, Rohel, that one closest to you should be able to turn on these game lights.
This one? Yeah.
But it does not. And I feel like you should be able to turn off the game lights here, which is correct right now.
Yeah.
But this one is not doing anything. Was there supposed to be a fan / middle light option in this house? To be honest with you, again, going back with experience and my background, I know that on phase 2 inspections, the electrician may very well have a junction box or a can light ready to go, but the drywall guy forgot to cut it out during the drywall stage, and then it just gets forgotten over time. So that's why I think it's really important when you read this section of the report, review the blueprints and see if this game room was supposed to have some sort of 3-way option, some sort of fan light option, something of that nature.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
As we look here, we've got 2 things. One, this is just a scuttle hatch for your attic space above. There's no mechanical equipment up there. Of course, it could be for some extra storage if you wanted, but every time you'd have to go up there, you'd have to get a ladder and pop that open. It's just a requirement to be there because if you have an attic space, you've got to have some access to it.
Got it.
This you'll see is a return air vent, vent that does not have a filter at it, and that's because you have what's called a media filter at the system itself. So you're not putting filters throughout the home anymore. You just have one box filter or one media filter at the system. I'll show you that now.
Cool. I got you.
All right, so this is an attic space here. It pretty much is, if I remember correctly, probably, over your primary bedroom area. This is your HVAC furnace / HVAC system. You've got the supply side plenum, evaporacoil, furnace hatch. Here is your media filter hatch. So you would just pull that off, and here is your media filter. And again, I'll have pictures of all this in the report. I'll have a picture showing you the hatch, picture showing you the size of the filter, and then currently right now this filter I'll consider to be dirty, so I'll have that written in the report that they should get you a brand new one before you move in.
Cool.
These filters are typically 6-month filters, but with the construction around you, you might want to check it every 4 months just for the time being. They're about $30-35 a pop. Like I said, 4 to 6 months. You can get them on Amazon, have them delivered to your doorstep, or Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. And there's all kinds of different brands as well. And I'll have the size, which is 20 by 25 by 4 inch thick. This is a MERV 11. You can get different MERV levels for a different type of maybe allergy season and things like that if you wanted to.
Cool.
Obviously, always take, say this to the camera. Obviously, always take caution when in the attic space. We're not going to walk on the white fluffy stuff. You only want to be on the decking area. This is the only areas that you want to walk to.
Cool.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Fresh air intake supply motor. Essentially what this is doing, it's got a duct that goes to the return air side. It's got a duct that goes to the outside of the home. It basically is just bringing in fresh air constantly into the home. Essentially there is a wire mesh filter there that I'll have a picture of that you can take out and wash periodically if you'd like to.
Perfect.
Smaller things. Like I mentioned, opening and closing doors. This one's not latching right now. So essentially they need to adjust this strike plate to move that so the door actually latches. I had one other door, can't remember offhand, but I have it in the report that's doing what's called ghosting. Essentially it doesn't stay in the partially open position. Every time you kind of leave it halfway open, it swings all the way open.
Yeah.
It should stay exactly where you want it.
Got it.
Like I said, as far as the report, the roof, let's go take a look at the roof real quick. I did go on the roof, but just from this angle, I could see some things. There was a couple little small shingle nail heads. You can see kind of silver. I don't know if you can see through the reflection.
Oh, I can.
I'll have pictures of that in the report. Some, this is a area where some people have been traveling already, so some of these shingles are already kind of deteriorated or worn. A lot of times they can seal those up or replace them. Yeah. There's a couple other nail heads that I found on the rear elevation of the home that need to be sealed. There's a piece of flashing over here on the rear left elevation of the home, needs to be painted. What I noticed here, and it's not necessarily a deficiency, and you might not be able to tell from this angle because I can't really see it right now. Yeah. But from the top side, I'll have a good picture of it. Looking at this side of the roof right here, to me, it looks like they just maybe ran out of a batch, maybe, or what they call a square, which is basically a bundle of shingles. Okay. And maybe they had to get another bundle out, and it just might not be the exact run color. Okay. Got it. It was, I'm going to call it just mismatched shingles on this right elevation. I'll have a picture looking down from the top of the roof that it really kind of shows with that sunlight showing on. You can just tell a little bit of a different shade of the shingle. Cool. Nothing deficiency as far as water intrusion or anything. It's gonna be blue writing, but it's just a matter of, hey, maybe ask the builder, like, look, what was the deal? Did y'all have a leak? Did you have to replace some shingles? Did you run out? What's the story here? Maybe they can get a shingle representative that provides them their shingles out here to take a look and see what the cause was, and they can maybe get those to match better as far as maybe replacing those if you want them to. Cool. Okay. Alrighty. As far as the report goes, like I mentioned earlier, I'll have it sent to you and Rahel by the end of the evening, most likely a couple hours from now. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to call me. Thank you, Travis. No problem.
Didn't I tell y'all he was a Michael Jordan? I freaking told y'all. I told you, this man broke down everything about this house. And an average inspector usually takes about 2-3 hours on the property. This guy takes 4 or 5 hours on the property. He looks at the serial numbers for every appliance and writes them in so you can copy paste it. He tells you the company. He tells you everything there needs to be known about this house. So, yeah, a walk through a day in my life with my inspector. I only got the best. I only work with the best. Y'all know how I do. And yeah, let's get it.